Parenthood is the biggest job ever, and it never stops. It never stops. My kids are teenagers now, and they still need me, but in different ways, in guidance into adulthood, in kind of moral footing, and exciting to go out and be independent.
Welcome to the Zen Den, a podcast designed to help you discover your authentic inner peace. These episodes are intended for everyone, regardless of their background. We explore the question, how can we find inner peace in today's world? Together, let's awaken our higher consciousness and allow our individual truths to shine. It's time to learn how to live in harmony. Your host, Maggie Calder, a former Buddhist nun monk who studied directly with respected spiritual masters, shares her wisdom on the infinite possibilities of life. Now, here's Maggie with today's episode of the Zen Den.
Well, welcome to the Zen Den, and I have such a lovely gift today of having Susannah Adams here with me. She is a good friend. She plays in my sound bath. She does the Peace Walker workshop with me. And most of all, she is a mother of two beautiful children. And today, our topic's going to be talking about motherhood, being a mother and connected to these beautiful children. So, Susannah, welcome.
Thank you, Maggie.
Yeah. So, do you want to share a little bit of, the Zen Den really is about, how we have difficulties and they're part of our life, and how we use our inner peace or our Zen state to come into harmony with those difficulties. So what comes up for you today around being a mother and, these two beautiful children who are I would find them not challenging as a negative, challenging because of their intelligence, Yeah,
Absolutely. I do feel that, we definitely learn from our children a huge amount. And as a parent, it's always been my intention to keep a few steps ahead of them in my personal growth, to be able to help them in their challenges. I kind of notice that we echo each other in a lot of ways. So some of the challenges from birth, which is enormous, of course, as a feat to enable our bodies to go through this as women, as mothers, as female-bodied people, to be able to surrender and cleave yourself open to bring the little being through. That's enormous. And then having a newborn and very young babies, it's like there's nothing to parallel what that transition is like into motherhood. It's the biggest act of surrender and selflessness in those early years.
Can we hold it there for a moment? Because what you're saying feels like a lot just in that amount. So in birthing, as a mother, there's an amount of courage and trust.
Oh, yes.
You have to trust your body. You have to trust the facility you're in, if you're in a hospital or something, or at home.
That's right.
And for this offering of this beloved other human being.
Yeah.
And so was that trust there for you?
In the end, yes. And in through all the stages of pregnancy, when I first found out I was pregnant for the first time, there's that kind of, can I do this? Can we do this with my partner? Like, how do we become parents? And that 9 months of gestation, when you're carrying the babe, is the 9 months it definitely takes you to become ready for parenthood. So in the latter stages of pregnancy, when you're ready for birthing, preparing for birthing, that recognition of the need to surrender and the calling for the trust of something greater than yourselves. And like you say, your medical team, as well as your birth partners, your partner, if you have one, like, your people around you. And there just comes a time when you like look at everybody and be like, that person was born, that person was, like somebody gave birth to you. We've all, the women, all the mothers in my world, like they've been through it, like I could do this. It's obviously something that women have done for eons, millennia, for tens of thousands of years. And so that element of trust is seeded from there, from all the grandmothers.
Right. Interesting. It sort of lives in the DNA to some degree. Yeah. Like in my body in this lifetime didn't offer me a child. And I used that compassion and that love that was bubbling inside of me to help children all around the world.
Yes.
So there is it's kind of like a hunger. Maybe you could explain it better, but for me, it was a hunger that I really just needed to help children. It was just this completion when I helped, these young people. Yeah. Now, so your children are now at infant age and you're a mother.
Right. Yeah, I'm going back because
Going back.
You're teenage.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, they're teenaging now.
Going back to infancy.
Yeah.
And I've got two who are 2 years. They're 2 years apart.
Right.
So those early years are really grueling, to be honest. And that huge transition, as I spoke to, about when you first become a mother, become a parent, and life as you know it is put on hold or is somewhere else, changed forever, basically.
Okay, let's slow down there because we might have some listeners that are thinking about having children or who are pregnant.
Yes.
Or who are new mothers. We don't know, but we welcome you for sure. And we hope that our continued conversation is supportive for you. But grueling, I've heard this from mothers. And it's not an uncommon thing I hear when the child is an infant stage. And I've often wondered what's grueling, because all I get to see is when they're sleeping and they're very cute and they get changed and it just looks like, oh my God, how adorable. But what's grueling?
There is a lot of adorable stuff there. And it's incessant. It's ceaseless. Like, yes, the babe will sleep and coo and you'll have lots of cuddles, but as a breastfeeding mother, like the baby is on you all the time. Some babies will not sleep if you put them down. And so they have to sleep when you're carrying them, and then they wake up and then they're hungry. So it's like my sister's just had her second child right now. So I helped at the birth. And so it's very present for me right now. My sister's talking about all she is a boob. A breast, a milk factory,
Yeah. So that could be the grueling, where as an expressive human being, you become just a machine to feed, clothe, and take care of this gorgeous
expressing milk. And then it's hard, like on your posture, you kind of, if you're breastfeeding, you're crouched over, and it's awkward also breastfeeding. It's a learned thing, and it's painful at the beginning as well. So not to put anybody off, it's all a learning, and it's the most beautiful thing ever.
Yeah, because my older sister once said just to watch her child feed from her with so much tenderness and love.
Yeah.
There's no words that could ever express that.
That's right. Yeah. So when I say it's grueling, like it's in balance with that beauty.
So, you get that tender touch and it just fills you right back up again from there. Yeah.
And then you get the sleepless nights. The lack of sleep and the crying, and you're like, what is it? And, trying to get a burp out, whatever. So it's intense. It's like it's a really big dive into, like I say, like absolute selflessness. And sometimes it can wear you down, especially if you have a second child or multiple children and you're stretched in all the different directions and trying to keep order in the home and trying to get food on the table and whatever. Like, there's a lot in motherhood or parenthood is like it's the biggest job ever, and it never stops. It never stops. My kids are teenagers now and they still need me, but in different ways, in guidance into adulthood, in kind of moral footing. And as my kids are like starting to go out and be independent, go downtown or whatever, just trusting that they have their solid foundation of what they know is right and wrong, how they know how to keep themselves safe. And so there's always an element of worry and trust that they'll find their way, that my partner and I, my husband and I, have given them enough foundation that they will find their way in the world.
So you say the word worry, and I can feel that as a contraction when you said worry. Are you open to investigate a little bit more of the worry? Is the worry on you? Is the worry there a lot? Is it on you, on them, on life situation? How does worry ride in your field?
Worry for their well-being, their safety, their protection. There's also, we can look at it on myriad levels, and obviously there's like the global unfolding at play, and like the political climate, the ecological, environmental climate. There's so much change and so much flux that the technological aspects, phone devices and things, the world is changing so fast.
Right. And it's totally a different world than when I was a kid.
And so as parents, we're not experienced in how to help shape, I didn't grow up like this either. And so we're tackling it without any experience. We're like guessing, okay, let's not give you cell phones until this age, or, let's kind of minimize this. And then how do you name or speak to like some of the global events that are happening?
So that worry it rides pretty strong as they're getting into the young adulthood now.
It's there all the time. The worry is there if my toddler is climbing up a big slide and I'm like, please don't fall off. Please be strong in your footing. The worry is they're like sending them to preschool or school and be like, are they going to make friends? Is their teacher going to be nice? It's there all the time.
So that's part of the element of being a parent.
Yes.
Okay. Then if that's rides with being a loving parent, how do you find your Zen state in that? That inner peace? What is that? So we can help listeners really turn. The worry is this vibration. It's a buzz there. It's kind of like the electricity of life as a parent. And how do you stay in this beautiful inner Zen, this profound inner peace, while worry is riding around you?
It's a great question. I think there are a few things that I could speak to, much like when I was speaking to the aspect of birthing and the surrender and the trust to a higher power, and that everything will unfold as it needs to, and to believe that I don't have control, to know that like I don't have ultimate control over everything.
So even though the worry's there, part of what's seeding you to drop into that inner peace is the trust again of that infinite, that whoever's there, whatever's happening, however it's happening, it will be safe. And
yes, and that could be naivety.
Well, it's a touchy thing when, this is a topic that I don't think there's an answer for it, because we've got many layers in there. And you can speak to that, like personality, how they're educated. There's layers and layers.
Yeah.
But right now, let's just get, okay, so this worry vibration is around us. And many parents who might be listening understand what that really is. And then finding that Zen state is to first maybe go, okay, I'm going to have a little bit of trust in their journey. I'm going to have a trust in this unfolding.
Yes. And I think that trust is born from a foundation
Okay.
of philosophy, actually, like personal family ethics or grounding values, family values. That's it. Probably.
Okay.
Good phrase.
So a family value for you would be?
Oh, I mean, common respect for each other and love and not
let's go there for a minute. So family value to your family is to have respect for everyone in the family.
Yes, and beyond. And practices, family practices in the way that we actually come together and eat meals together at dinner. I didn't grow up like that at all. Like I ate my dinner in front of telly with my sister, and that was it. We came together once a week for a family meal, which was good, but making it a norm that we actually just spend time together without the phones, home cooked meals, like we grow our food as well, and just kind of like trying to go to a holistic way of living and teaching the kids like where the food comes from. And yeah, we don't grow everything, but teaching us to have respect for what we're eating, respect for the food, so that we say a little thanks before.
And when you do that, what do you find that your children get from that?
We come into a place of connection, actually. And
so the family gets more bonded. Do you find that you bond more together?
Yes. And there's opportunity to just share what's been going on in our days.
And I know your life as a musician and a recorder, you have a couple of albums out, and then your husband is a busy guy. So what do you and your husband do when you're sitting at a table and you've got a lot going on outside behind that? And you're sitting having a healthy meal with your children? What do you need to do so that you can be in this respectful state you're sharing?
Well, I think there's an agreement, like I say, of not having phones at the table.
That's a good one. That's a tough one. A lot of people need to answer it now because it pinged at them.
I know. Yeah. And so sometimes the phone does go off, and I feel obviously interrupts the flow. You're with you're
having a conversation,
and then so remembering to silence it, playing some nice music so that there's still like an space held, that it can be at any but just being in that togetherness and taking time to eat the food rather than just wolfing it down. And sometimes we're busy and we have to transition fast and whatever, but it's like this is something to aspire towards, right? That we're just going to sit down and have a leisurely meal together.
So you said you didn't really do that when you were a kid. Why are you implementing it now?
It's a good question. My husband grew up that way, and he knows that. He's been teaching me how to be a great parent, great mother, and implementing some good practices. Because when you raise your own family, you get to decide what your rituals are, what your values are, what you celebrate, what holidays, whatever, like how you do it. You don't have to always just go by what your parents did with you. So that's kind of an interesting creative space to decide what's important to you as a family.
So would you say that together, because you're working as truly a partnership, building a family that's unique to your family? It's not to your extended family, your parents and so forth. It's just to your little nucleus of goodness.
Right. And that's what I speak to about, like developing your philosophy, developing your ideas of what's important. What are your priorities? Are your priorities to come together daily or forego that on the regular so that you can work harder and go away for another few weeks or whatever as a dedicated time together? I don't know. But as in partnership I think the more that you communicate with your partner and keep the conversation open and alive and in constant evolution, like we're always growing and there's always external pressures, external things happening, so much evolution, so much shift and flux happening, to keep that connection with your partner strong and conscious in how you are continuing to shape your family.
So in doing that, is that, as a parent, would you call that your Zen state? It's a Zen state being.
I find Zen state in my solitude. So I think that's an essential part of being a resourced human being, to be honest.
Okay, this is really important. So what I'm hearing is, for you as a busy parent and creating new life and so forth and so on, for you to take time for you, which brings you into your Zen state, kind of fills up that heart or that goodness, so you can bring it back to the family.
That's exactly it. And at the beginning, it's hard to prioritize.
Because you think yourself isn't that important, because you've always been giving.
Yeah. And there's always more to be done. And I haven't done this, and I haven't done laundry, I haven't put away this, I haven't done, it's never ending. The domestic chores, for example. And so just to walk away, please walk away and just claim, like, whatever it is.
This is my half hour, this is my hour, and I just need to be quiet and nothing.
Or do what you need, I mean, for me, solitude, like walking along the beach or just sitting under a tree or whatever, or even just reading a book, making a cup of tea. But I find getting off the property, getting out of the house and walking away is a really helpful thing.
Okay, that's very good to know. That's a very helpful insight on taking care of ourselves that takes care of our family.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Also, if things are getting a little crazy in the house with the kids, and like you're afraid, you're pulled in all the different directions, one kid wants this and the other wants that, and it's kind of getting quite chaotic, stepping outside, like get out the front door and just leave your house. Hit the kids. Because the change of scenery.
Yeah.
And outside in nature, like, inside with young kids, they're like, that's my toy. Oh, you've taken, it's all about possession of items,
Yeah.
But if you're outside in the park or whatever, there's no possession. There's no, like, if that person's got a stick, well, guess what? There's another stick over here. Like, it's abundant. And
right.
things are dissipated. Everything feels...
And you can do all this and produce 2 incredible music albums.
Somehow. Yeah.
I really appreciate your insight and wisdom on this, and I'm sure we'll share more as we move on to other beautiful things that we do with the sound baths and that. But what's a good way for people to find out about your beautiful music? Because it is quite exceptionally calming and centering. If you want to take that hour to yourself, a mother or dad, and you want to take an hour to yourself, under Susannah's music would be incredibly peaceful and rejuvenating for sure. And what's a way that people can find you?
Thank you, Maggie. So I'm on all the platforms, Spotify, Apple Music and all of that. The album I released in 2024 is called Hearth, as in the home fire, Hearth. And it's under my name, Susannah Adams. And I've got a website, susannahadams.com. So you can find me through there.
Oh, perfect.
And there's a new album coming out, which is a bit more interesting.
I love this. This new album is beautiful. I'm so excited for it. And thank you very much. And thank you for sharing with us. And maybe we can just take a moment and just close our eyes and take a breath and just love the body to get calm as we breathe out, and give the body information of allowing all that we've shared today can be received and supportive in our life. So take these blessings with you and share them in the world. And thank you so much for being with us. And we send our blessings to you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you for listening to the Zen Den with your host, Maggie Calder. We hope this episode has provided you with a moment of peace in your busy day. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with someone who could use a little love today. To learn more about Maggie's offerings, visit thezenden.world or email us at thezendenworld@gmail.com. You will find us on all the social media platforms too. In kindness from all of us at the Zen Den, be well.
This podcast was made with love from Shikonomi and the global community of Podcast Hers.